Welcome back to the royalty. Of course, it's Halloween. So, without further ado, I have to introduce our great icon, my sister, my love, my little Britini, as I call her, Brittany D'Angelo from season BB23. How are you, Brittany?
Oh my gosh, I am so good. Thank you so much for letting me come on the podcast. I'm so good. How are you?
I'm so good. As you can see, I'm doing what I do best, being a joker, girl.
You are indeed. No, I will tell you. I obviously Derek called me beforehand and he was like, just to let you know, I'm in a full face of Halloween makeup. And I was like, okay, I have no clue what this means. Then he turns on the camera and I was like, oh my God, you are a literal Joker, which kind of works out perfectly for this podcast. So we're gonna roll with it.
We're gonna roll with it. Hannah and Tiffany had some things they had to take care of. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight, so Brittany is gonna recap Big Brother with me, and then of course I'm gonna go solo and talk about Survivor. And we also had the premiere of Challenge 39, so we will be going over all that. Okay. So Brittany, have you been watching Big Brother?
I sure have. What a season. I literally feel like the season has gone on for 5 months. Like I feel like the season is never ending. And I'm really, really glad that like I felt like there was a time period in this season where we just like stopped moving because we did. But now I feel like the season's moving to a close. And I mean, the whole thing is I really have enjoyed getting to see the gameplay for a longer period of time, but I am happy the game is finally moving quicker. Because at this point I feel like now people have to make those like really immediate decisions in terms of like how am I going to get to the final two. Now it's not just like
Yes.
get to jury because it took
Yes.
us how many days to get to jury? Like 72?
Oh, girl, I
It took
don't
us a
know.
lot of
Are you talking
days
about
to
for
get to
us or you talking
jury.
about for them?
No, for them.
Took us a lot of days to get to jury.
Yeah.
Yes, it took baby. You're right. It's been feeling like it's been 5 months. I feel like Big Brother been going on since June at this
Yeah.
point, and we like it's just felt forever. Now, just to kind of go over, where's my notes? Just to kind of go over, let's recap some of the things that have happened. Okay, get ready. Okay,
How many
now
competitions did Jag
we
win?
had a veto competition. I don't even know, girl. How many did you win, girl? I mean, Jesus,
No,
what is
that's
like
how I
fucking
wanted to start the
25
recap.
at
No,
this point?
that's how I wanted to start the recap.
Oh,
Let's recap the last 3 episodes. How many competitions has Jag won?
probably about four, to be honest, at
Probably
this
all of
point.
them.
Now, listen,
Honestly,
wait,
all of
let's
them
go
but one.
back.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Okay, so we're gonna start last week. We had a veto competition. Okay, Miss Felicia throws Sari under the bus at some point in the competition. The competition was called Embarrassing Expedition. Of course, Jag wins it. He does not use the veto, which leaves Blue and America on the block still. Okay,
Yes.
is it? Yes, thank you so much, Lord Jesus. Then we go into a double eviction night. Let's talk about the double eviction night, which was like chaotic. Okay, Miss Marie wants to, obviously she wants to make a tie because she wants Jack to like kind of expose himself
Yes.
to, Blue and everybody to show like he really is targeting Blue. Um, she decides to tell Miss Felicia decides to take the secret that Sari it told her over to Jag to hopefully say, she told Jag, hey, Matt's planning to take you out. How do you feel about that? That was very interesting to me that Miss Alicia is taking information that Sari is giving her and throwing it to Jag. Like, do you think that's a good gameplay? Like, what do you think about that?
I think it's the gameplay Felicia thought she needed to do in the moment in saying that like she knows that Jag and Matt are running the house in terms of comp wins and like with the game how the game goes, if you don't win comps, you don't have power, and if you don't have power, you're at the mercy of everybody else. So I think that Miss Felicia was trying to gain some like brownie points with them, but I think what she forgets every time she tries and does something like that is that Sari is a social mastermind and she will socially get herself out of it exactly as she did in that certain situation where like Matt goes up to Sari and starts telling her like, hey, Felicia said this and this about you, and Sari goes, whoa, let me fix this, and then she does. You know what I mean? So I feel like she's Miss Felicia is trying to advance herself in the game with the people who at this point have held the most power. So I get it. Do I think it worked in the way she wanted to? No. But then again, we look at this week and everything that's already happened, and maybe it did work the way that she wanted to. You know what I mean? So Sari right now is being looked at a bigger as a bigger target than Miss Felicia is. So maybe it did in the long run. I get the reasoning why. It's just you're playing against a social mastermind, so you better be ready.
It's true. I agree with you. I'm kind of 50-50 with it because if you look at it, Suri is getting all the information. It doesn't seem like people want to put her up on a block. She doesn't seem like somebody who wants to be target. So if I'm Miss Felicia and I'm kind of like, I want to be set up to be at the end and be, making it further in the game, yeah, you do have to kind of throw somebody underneath the bus in order to try to make your way through. So I'm kind of 50-50 with it because I'm deciding me is like be loyal because you two could probably set yourselves up where you guys don't end up being targets and other
Yeah.
people start going at each other. Or you're into one of those situations where, yes, I do got to throw this person underneath the bus. Okay, so we have the first eviction being Blue. Blue went out in her normal fashion of kitty kitty purr, house down boots, whatever she's doing. Because I like Blue, but she's trying to be like one of the girls, like she's trying to be like one of the gay guys, and it kind of hits a little different for me at times. I'm kind of like, "Ooh, girl, what's going on?" Okay, but she did go out. She looked fabulous going out. Loved her outfit. Love her confidence, of
Their
course.
speeches were very interesting to me. Hers and America's speeches on
I
that.
was just about
The,
to talk about
the
that. I was
first,
just
the
about to
first
ask you
set of
about that. What was your
speeches.
thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Mean Girls stan. And when America goes, please raise your hand if you have been personally victimized by the Jagster. I mean, obviously, I got that Mean Girls reference immediately. I did. My whole thing was my only deterrent to that speech is that America knew she was staying. So if America knew she was staying and there was enough, like she knew the double eviction was coming up because Julie announced it before their speeches. I don't know if I would have said it then or if I would have said it the next time she got to speak. You know what I mean? So I just think that,
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
especially if she knew that she was staying, I don't know how, like, hardcore you want to go to a house of people that you're still staying with, especially Jag, who's also still in the house and has the capability of
Yeah,
winning. So I like that was my
yeah,
now mind you he couldn't have won HOH but he could have won Veto. So I think that that was just interesting.
yeah.
I mean the whole thing is like I like the playful nature of the speeches this year. But that was just one thing that I thought of and I was
I
like,
was
"Mm,
gonna ask you, do you? I was gonna ask you, do you like that? Like, I don't know how I feel about the speeches because, like, I think it's okay to be maybe a little bit playful, maybe in the beginning, but once we start coming down to like this close in the game, I think I just feel like we have to be a
I
little bit
I was
serious, a little
expecting a
bit.
little bit more
But
serious speeches. I will be honest. I mean,
yeah,
thing was even I mean I had four opportunities to give speeches. No, I had three. I'm sorry. I had three opportunities to give speeches. Two of them were playful. One of them was like, "Hey guys, I need your votes. Thanks." Um,
yes,
so the whole thing
yep,
is, it just really like at this point in the game, they should be serious. It should not be. I mean, you can play a little bit, but but also I think speeches are
yes, that's what I
interesting
meant.
because speeches are not like at the point of eviction. You don't change your mind with that speech that someone's going to give. So that is more for just like the
Yes,
appearance of the show because everyone already has their mind made up. When you sit for that live eviction, you already know what you're doing. You probably know what you're doing 4 days before
yep,
that, but when you're in that seat, no one's speech is going to actively change your mind to be like, "Oh, I didn't think about that. Let me change my vote." You're not going to do it. So that I
of
kind of
course.
feel iffy with the speeches, to be honest. Like just in general, not even
Yeah, I
with the
will say
speeches.
this,
I
and
feel
I
like
think the
the
fans.
content of the speeches is interesting to me.
Yes, and you did say something. I think a lot of fans kind of miss some points. Like people really do already have their minds up what they're doing before when we sit down. Like a lot of the speeches don't really change a lot of people's mind frames. Just thoughts. Sometimes it does, but not a lot of times. Especially nowadays with the new Big Brother of like people kind of knowing if they're going home,
Yeah.
based on how we wear our clothing. It's already given away and whatnot. Okay, so Blue goes home. Then we walk into another HOH competition. Okay, the HOH competition was to, if I'm correct, I think it was like a B or C
Yeah, it was an
type of
ABUC.
competition.
And then it came down to the
Yep, A,
tiebreaker
B, and
with
C
Matt
with the
and
different
Zoe.
pictures. Yes, it came down to the tiebreaker with Matt and Bowie. Bowie wins her second HOH competition. In this moment, I once again am sitting here going, we don't need fucking Bowie Jane to win because I don't know who she's targeting. Like, I don't know who's like her like number one, who's like partners with her, who's like her final two. I don't know. Like, I don't know who Bowie Jane wants out the house.
No.
Like, to me, it comes down to Bowie Jane is just fucking there, Bowie Jane, just to be there. Like, she's like an extra body just to be there. Because right now, the gameplay that she's playing for me, she's playing for third place. She's playing for third place where she's not playing to be in those final two chairs by the moves and the things that she's doing. But she wins, and then, they come back into the house, and then she's just kind of like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, girl, you know what to do. You
Yeah,
put
it's an
up
open
Matt and
eviction.
Jag.
Like,
Why would you not take advantage of an opportunity? It's a double eviction. You put up Matt and Jag, one of them win the veto, come down, and then you set up somebody else as a pawn. Okay, and then one of them go home, and then you could set yourself up better for the end. But just some of the moves that she's doing don't make no damn sense to me. Okay,
yeah, I think the fact that
so of
no
course,
one right I think the fact right now that no one's going after Matt and Jag is very interesting. And Bowie, like you said, had that opportune time to go after both of them, the power duo that she's been working so closely with, I'll put in quotes. But like the fact that she did not take that shot, I mean that would
so
solidify to
funny.
me that she is going for third. Like you're not gonna get sacked. Like the whole thing is Jag is gonna.
Bowie Jane.
Jag or Matt are gonna take the endurance. I honestly though, I also think in a realm of a world, I don't know Bowie's full potential in a comp. So like if we get down to final three and it's Bowie, Jane, Jag, and Matt, I don't know who wins what. Because has Bowie been throwing everything because she hasn't needed to win? Or like I don't know how Bowie Jane competes. Truly. And like
I don't
I
know.
would
Bowie
love
Jane.
to see a competition where Bowie Jane has to compete for like and go hard and go hardcore and like I want to see how she competes because I don't think I've gotten that gauge so far.
Don't either. Bowie Jane to me is giving me very like I don't know what she's doing to be honest. I think she really is playing Big Brother Australia. I think she's playing Big Brother Australia where Australia fans are going to vote because she's not playing this
I
game like
forgot maybe Australia
she
has the
got a
fan vote.
jury in the house. Right, like it doesn't make sense to me, and I agree. Like Bowie Jane to me, like to be honest, if Bowie Jane if she comes in third place, I just want you to remember this clown face and how I look right now because that's how Bowie Jane is going to be looking at third place in Big Brother. Okay, I'm just being honest. Now, she comes back in the house. She puts up Miss Felicia and she puts up America. Okay. Now in this point, they go into the veto competition. The veto competition was like dropping, running, getting the ball, dropping the ball in this tube that was only a certain size. Let me just take a fucking moment, okay? And I'm gonna try to get off of Bowie Jane. The fact that Bowie Jane picked up a little tiny ass ball from the pile of balls and dropped it in that tube, it just I don't know what is going on through this woman's head sometimes. Like, I can't believe that she did that. I was so shocked. I'm like, did you think the competition was that easy? Did you think they would, like, pick any of the balls and drop them in there? And it's Julie not even acknowledging it. That's what killed me the most. But, I will say this Miss Felicia, I mean, she was kind of catching up a little bit. She was kind of catching up. Matt wins the veto.
Yep.
He lets, Sari and everyone know, like, I'm not planning to use the veto. He's going to keep noms the same to send America home. Then we get to the second set of speeches. What was your thoughts about those speeches?
To be honest, I literally have forgotten about both of those speeches. Hold on one second. I told honestly
No, don't.
that I've like to be honest with you, I was trying to like refresh my mind before hopping on this podcast. To the life of me, I cannot remember either one of them. Is that bad?
Don't worry because they were both they were no, it was just not, it was like America was trying to be like psych, like forget what I said earlier about you, Jack, like I just didn't really get it. I
Oh,
think
that's
for me, right?
right. She did try and backtrack. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I will be honest with you.
yes,
The
yes,
things from the
yes.
double eviction
No,
that
it's okay.
really stood out to me was the fact that Miss Felicia actually worked. Like Miss, not actually worked. Miss Felicia was working, and I feel like that's the whole thing of like this season. I have had like a lot of the competitions this season have been some sort of physical, which I know for our season, I can say they were not that way. We had a very equal mix of mental puzzle and physical with the lesser
Did we?
category. Yes. At least when I was there, there were so many mentals, so like our physical comps were far and few between, and I feel like every competition this
Yeah,
season.
I feel like our physical comps didn't hit in until after the wall. So I get what you're saying about that. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
But like we had
Yeah,
so many
yeah,
mental,
but
so many puzzle. And like I mean honestly, like
yeah.
my whole thing is with Matt winning this veto, I mean that was when I'll be honest with you, that's when I stopped paying attention because when Matt won the veto, I was like noms are going to change, America's going home, and I honestly no, I actually went to bed because I taught the next morning and I had a 6 a.m. workout. So actually when Matt won the veto when I saw it, I went to bed. That's why I didn't forget what the speech, that's why I didn't remember what the speech were. But my whole like it's tough with me with these competitions because I do understand that like Big Brother is a game, but I know a big conversation piece this season has been like the physical competitions with Miss Felicia and Sari in the game. Where like, is it a disadvantage? Like, is it a disadvantage? Why is Big Brother throwing so many physical comps right now and have been throughout the entire season? Where it's just like someone who's in their 20s and someone who's in their 50s, 60s are just not going to compete the same way in a physical competition. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, I don't know.
I agree with that. I will say
What are
this
your
though,
feelings
Britt.
on?
No, let me say this, Britt. I do
Yeah,
agree with you, but I will say some of the comps that are physical for the last two seasons since our season are a little bit more friendly to everybody.
I
Now,
agree with that.
I'm taking an example. I'm not trying to backtrack, but if you look at some of the comps where someone like me couldn't wasn't able to do because of the size of my body compared to even people in the past of Big Brother, same thing. I feel like it has really changed in 24 and 25. Like I've been really paying attention to the comps that they put out and then looking at how it's a little bit more friendly. Like 24, they play musical chairs for a
Yeah.
competition,
I
like I
really have
just feel
been
like it's been a
enjoying.
little bit better, but I can understand when there's a lot of physical. I can understand what you're saying. There's a lot of physical. So yeah, somebody who's about 20 something compared to someone who's about 40 something, of course there's going to be a difference, and I think they just need to look at that moving forward in the future. Let me ask you this, because America does go out, and I want to say this: America goes out crying her eyes out. I was really shocked because I feel like America's like this tough girl, and like such like a. I thought she's such like a. Oh yeah, I'm a snappy. Like I thought she was like a badass bee. But I was just a little. That was a little bit taken back by that. Her conversation with Julie. She did. She was, obviously, upset that she was leaving, but she was happy to see Corey. Let me ask you this: what is your thoughts on America? I have. I want to ask other people their thoughts because I have my own opinion on the type of game that Corey played, the type of game that America played. What is your thoughts on America and her gameplay, or just in
I
general? I
Yeah,
would love
so
to hear your
I will
thoughts.
say this first. I completely understand the crying out the door. I did not cry out the door because I cried before I left the house, but I can understand as America was, and I'm going to say arguably the biggest super fan in that game this season. We all knew that America was a super fan. She's been wanting to play this game for years, and the fact that that was taken from her in a double is it would be emotional. So for me, like my whole thing with America is I always root for the super fans. It's just something that I do. And I think the interesting thing that I've been seeing this season is like with Corey and America together, people have been wondering like, oh, well, oh, is it Corey leading it? Isn't America leading it? I think they both had their moments, but I'm not going to take away America's gameplay. That Izzy vote and that flip was very, especially if you watch the live feeds, and I know we're only talking about episodes, America was really the one that was like going through and really socially working that blind side for Izzy. America also had really good social relationships. She was constantly pulling more people in closer to the relationship of Corey and America. Like, America was doing her job. And I just like, my whole thing is I want to make sure that, like, yes, it's a showmance, but Corey did not, and Corey played well. Corey did not do everything. He could not have been as successful as he was without America doing her end of the work too. So I mean, I respect the game that America played. She decided to play the game in a showmance, which puts a big target on your back to begin with. I do think they both navigated it well. It was only a matter of time though that they were going to be sent out the door. And I say that because they criticized Jared and Izzy and Sari for being in the middle of every single alliance. And then the next week, they went and did the exact same thing and made alliances with every single person. And then tried blaming it and being like, oh, you're the one that made that alliance and you're the one. So they did the exact same thing. And the whole thing is in the game of Big Brother, it's gonna come back to bite you. So it did, and they were both sent out the door. It was gonna happen eventually, but they did play the game, and I love people who actively play this game and don't sit back. So for me, watching their gameplay has been entertaining. But no, I think America played the game. And honestly, I like, yeah, I think she did. And I, like I said, I always root for the super fans. That's the heart of me, you know?
And that's okay. No, and I know, and I completely understand that. I think sometimes the super fans, they get too lost that they sometimes forget to come back down sometimes. And I agree with I agree. I'm not sitting there saying Corey did all the work because I don't think Corey did all the work either. Okay. I'm saying for me, I think they both got too distracted because, like you said, a showman's is a threat. I think they were too distracted with being with each other and underneath each other the whole time that they forgot that there's other things they could have did. Because can I tell you something? If America would have probably sat there and made sure her relationship was really, really tight with like Blue and maybe somebody else, she probably, when the time for your, because you got to think about it, showmances, a lot of showmances don't make it to the end. If she would have took the time to make sure those other relationships were kind of a little bit more solidified and not just focus on Corey, and same thing with Corey, because Corey lost somebody that he was solidified with, which was Jared, and he threw that away. So what I'm saying is, those are the things that, sometimes. But America goes home. She's now joining the jury now. We go into, tonight's HOH, of course. It's one of those comps that it's very interesting, but Matt ends up winning HOH, okay?
Yes.
Which was, I think, great because Matt has not got an opportunity to win the HOH. He also, I found this very interesting. And I
Wait,
want
he
to know
hasn't
your
won
thoughts
any
on
H.
this.
This was his first HOH.
This was his first HOH.
Wow. Oh
He's
my God.
won.
He has only
He
won
has
vetoes. Wow.
won.
I didn't even think about that.
Yes, he's
Crazy.
only won vetoes. Here's my thing. He wins, and he gets a letter from Reilly. What
Yes.
is your thoughts on that?
Um,
Like that just threw me for a loop because that's like if I won HOH and I got a letter from Frenchie. Like,
yeah, I will say my whole thing is, and my whole thing is this. I've had the opportunity to I've DM Riley, I've texted Riley. She's super, super sweet. My whole thing is I just
she's
because
very sweet. Yes.
they're just because they're not official, it was weird to me. Like because it like wasn't an official showmance to
And
me. It was like to me like if I had someone like if I had met someone in the Big Brother house and they went out when Riley went out and I was still in the house, I would want a letter from my mother. Like I would want a letter from my mother who
yes,
I
that's what I
in
say.
80 days. So my that was just I like yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because they weren't an official.
Girl, it was weird. Girl, it was
Yeah,
weird.
that's my feeling on
Girl,
it.
it was weird because listen, I did an exit interview with Riley, and that was one of my questions to her. I said, "Are you and Matt going to turn into anything?" And she said, "No, we're just friends." So I will say this, and I understand you got to think about it. I'm not making Riley like she did this because the HOH has the power to go into the DR a couple days before or the week before to ask who do they want a letter from. Okay, so he
Well, they
had to
either
sit there
did
and
that
tell
or
them,
production
you know.
shows.
Okay, we'll never know. We'll never know. But let me tell you this:
Well, we'll
it was
never know.
just
Here's
it's a
my thing.
little
Here's the
bit.
thing.
It was
I
bit.
genuinely do not
It was.
know. We will. we will never know if Matt asked for the letter, and I think this is something in his exit interviews to ask, but like we will never know if Matt asked for the letter or if production wanted that to be the letter. I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Maybe I'm
It's
leaning more.
it's
I don't know. Are you leaning
it's
more
giving
towards the
very
Matt
clout
asked?
chasey. That's all I have to say. I'm giving it's giving very clout chasey. It's giving that I left the game early, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone until I can do some more deep diving into it because it doesn't make any sense to me. But it was weird because I don't think I've ever seen something like that. But other than that, he wins HOH. Now this is the part that kind of throws me for a loop. If you look at the history throughout the game, let me say this: Matt decides to put up Miss Felicia and Suri. Okay, I did not understand
Boo!
him. I did not understand him
Boo!
putting up Sari after their whole entire relationship. Yes, it's giving like it's giving very clownery, very, very, very clownery moves that we're doing, and I'm very disappointed because I don't know what Matt is doing. I am praying that there's a backup plan. I'm praying that he is planning to get rid of Jag because if he's not getting rid of Jag, then this is a really, really dumb move. But what's your thoughts on him putting up? Miss Felicia and Sari, which we'll find out on Tuesday, with the veto competition. But what's your thoughts, on tonight of him putting them two up?
Oh no, I'm pissed. And I'm pissed because of the fact that him and Sari have had such a close relationship. And to be completely like, I don't know, like my whole thing is if Sari ends up going out this week, in my head, he lost a jury vote. And I don't think he realizes
For
how
sure.
persuasive Sari could be to a jury of people who so like I said, Sari is a social mastermind. This is not her first rodeo. So for me, I'm like that. Like to me, Sari would be someone you would want to keep in the house because she would evict Jag over you. So why are you getting rid of somebody who would evict Jag over you when I don't know where Bowie Jane would vote, so that's a problem to begin with. Miss Felicia, I don't know where she would vote with either, to be honest. So I just think that
I don't know either.
you are getting rid of a number for you, a number who has proven herself to be a number for you. And my whole thing is, what has Bowie Jane proved? Like in my head, and also my other thing
As
too
Miss
is
Felicia
that
would say, fucking Bowie Jane. Fucking Bowie Jane, fucking Bowie Jane, fucking Bowie Jane. Like girl, go ahead. I ain't got nothing. I can't.
I really hope that Sari can find a way to stay this week. That's what I'm hoping for.
Let me ask you this before you go, Brittany. Who do you want to win? I don't even know if I should even ask this because it's hard. And who do you want to win Big Brother 25?
Okay, well, my number one would be Sari. But I do think that she has a high probability of leaving this week. Um, so in that case, it's not even who I want to win, it's who I think has a shot of winning. And at this point, I think that unless Matt or Jag cut the other person, they're going to be sitting in the final two. I think they both have arguments as to why they should win. I think that the fact that Jag, like, there's different arguments they could make for each other and against each other. So I think that it's just going to come down to who can better articulate their game in the shortest amount of time to the jury. And I think that the fact that Jag has won many comps, he can say, "Look, I've kept Matt safe all these times." But then Matt can always come back and say, "Hey, remember week 4 when you got evicted 10-0? I'm the one that saved you, and I'm the reason you're here right now." So like, there's different arguments both could make. And to be honest with you, the person that I want to win is the person that can articulate their game the best in the final two, sitting in those chairs, and who gains the respect of the jury that way. Whoever does that is who I want to win. I'll put it that way. Because if you can't articulate your game to me, then I don't know what you've been doing in the Big Brother house. But I really hope that whoever is sitting in those final two chairs, especially if you are up against a Jag or a Matt, you need to be ready to speak. Because at this point, I feel like this jury is not going to be decided until those jury votes, until until the speeches happen. So it's going to be interesting. And like I said, it's not really.
No. I agree.
I want the person to win who can best articulate their game and show me and show America and show the jury why they deserve to win this season because of everything that they've done. And I'll put it there.
All right. Okay, Brent.
Because
Now,
I
what are
do
you up
think
to,
I
Brent?
do
I know
think
you've been so busy. I'm so sorry I didn't even check it.
No, oh God, we've been doing so many things. I have been doing, did like my first modeling engagement. That was interesting. I've been doing a lot of speaking events with my story and
Okay.
doing like women empowerment issues, or women empowerment issues and speaking in terms of like talking about that topic. I run 22.4 miles this upcoming weekend in Disney World, and then I will fly out for the second reality lip sync battle because obviously Big Brother was the champ's first day or first time around. We did win that, so we are coming for the dub once again. Bigger and better performances, and we are ready to go kill it. So it's going to be one heck of a time. And then obviously we'll be in LA for the finale. I'm doing a little set work out there, nothing to do with Big Brother, but I got like a acting martial arts job while I'm out there this time too. So that's going to be interesting to like go and do for like,
Oh, cool.
yeah, yeah, so that's gonna be fun. So I have
Okay.
to bring like all my karate stuff out there and like go film for a little bit. So that should be fun and interesting. And then I come back
Good.
home.
Good.
I
Good.
mean, I've just been when I'm home, I'm teaching. You know me. When I'm home, I'm teaching as many days as I'm available in the week. I'm at school, so I'm teaching, and then I've just been
Yeah.
studying for different education exams that I'm taking through New York State because I still have not taken them all, even though I have my master's, and which is partially my fault because I've been procrastinating on them, but we're not procrastinating anymore. We are getting ahead of it. And then obviously December is going to be Hearts of Reality.
Good.
So December is going to be Hearts of Reality, going to Give Kids the World Village and spending that time with kids. So I can't wait for that.
Well, let me tell you this, Brittany. Everything you've been doing, I've been watching you. You're such a good, um, how can I say, a leader. I love all the stuff you talk about. Talking about autism and everything. I've seen all the speeches. You've been keeping it up, and you're just such a positive person. And I want you to continue doing that. Don't ever let that flower ever dim. Okay, you keep
Absolutely.
it blossoming. Yes, of course. If you guys don't know, please come to the lip sync battle, okay? Make sure you come. It's the second annual lip sync battle between the reality stars. I expect Big Brother to win. And of course, you guys can catch us in LA for Oz's Big Brother premiere party. I'm sorry, not premiere. Jesus Christ, we do not need another 100 fucking days. Excuse me. The final party of Big Brother 25. So make sure you guys are ready and be there for that. If you haven't yet, go check out Oz's Instagram. All the information is on there to buy tickets. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people you want to see, and just
And
having
there's
a good
not many
time.
tickets left, so go
With
now.
this Big Brother, yes, there's not many tickets left. Of course, Brittany, I can't wait to hear your final thoughts when I talk to you afterwards of this season.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel. I really do. I really do like this cast. I just wish there was more gameplay moves. And I think a lot of them will realize that when they sit back and watch it back of gameplay moves. Like there's nobody out here planning week by week. I really feel like Big Brother right now is playing a little bit of like a survivor game when it's like they're playing week by week. Like it's like quick, like little week by week quick decisions, and like I don't really understand it. It's not really making a lot of sense. But Britt, where can they follow you at? Where can they stalk you at? And where can they watch you do all the cool shit you do?
So I am on primarily Instagram and TikTok, which is at Brittany underscore D'Angelo. And that is where you can keep up with all of my different crazy things that I do on a daily basis that most people look at me and are like, wait a second, you're on the road again, which is Derek. So every day I FaceTime Derek and he's like, what state are
That
you
is true.
in today?
I can't keep up. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, girl. You really need to like. You really need. I hope you're taking videos of like every time you leave. Like every time you leave, I need you to take videos. Like I'm on my way here. I'm on my way here. Like every time you're on somewhere. So, just keep going. I love that you're just living out your dream. Okay. Now,
Thank
Britt,
you.
I love you so much. I
I
do
love
have to let you
you.
go. Thank you so much for joining me. And of
Of course.
course, I love you. Of course, we'll have you in the obviously in the future. And I'll see you later.
Jokers all day, baby. Let's go. Yay!
Okay, guys, let's get into our favorite segment of the night. You know how we feel over here on the Royalty Podcast. Of course, we love Survivor. We are like Survivor fanatics, as I will call it, okay? All right, so we have episode 5. If you guys haven't caught up, Sean just went home. We get back to the Reba tribe. Sifu is pissed. He's asking everyone questions about who voted for him. Everyone is denying it. I think Sifu at this point realizes that, Sifu, or Seafood, whatever the fucking name is. Shit, this fucking name is. He feels as though, like, he can't really trust anybody. But he's kind of at this point, because everyone's denying it, he's kind of like, I guess I'm going to just have to just let this go. Maybe it was Sean and he was just trying to, play a game and mess up the tribe before he left. So, luckily he just lets it go, okay, for the sake of everybody else, okay? Because D was kind of in hot water. D was in the moment of, oh, I'm the one who voted for him, but I'm not going to tell him that. We get over to Bello tribe, and Jake passes out again. Jake has a segment of just talking about how he's lost a lot of weight. Shout out to Jake, okay, because he looks amazing. Losing weight is probably the most hardest things you'll ever have to deal with. It is not easy. I will tell y'all that. And he passes out again, and he talks about how he's lost weight, and he gets frustrated at himself because he feels like... he kind of feels like he's like, why is he passing out? He's mad at himself. Like, he's trained. He's ready for this. He's worried that it's going to come out later in the future. We get to Lulu tribe. Tendra gets caught looking for an idol. And Caleb kind of warns her that, hey, I saw you. I think they saw you. But he's kind of like, hey, I'm just telling you because I don't want you to get caught by the rest of everybody else. Which kind of lets her feel like, oh my God, I can trust Caleb. I like what Caleb is doing. I like that Caleb is working every angle of his tribe. I feel like he's kind of got a little bit of a reset in his game that he didn't have before. And I think that's really, really interesting. Sifu, back. Let's go back to Reba tribe. He makes a fake idol. He makes a fake idol because after his name getting written down, he kind of wants to have something and kind of show that he has something, so then they know not to vote him out because he has a fake idol. We hop back over to Bello tribe. Drew has an opportunity to start an alliance with Brando. Brando kind of wants to team up, and he kind of wants to have like an all nerd alliance. Drew's not trying to hear that shit. Drew don't want to be a part of no nerd alliance. He's like both of the nerds can't make it to the end, okay? Brando kind of picks up on Drew not really wanting to start this alliance with him. So then Brando kind of goes, all right, well, I'm, going to target Drew at this point since he doesn't want to work with me. Which I found very interesting to see in this episode, just because of the fact that, when you have a game like this, you always do want to take the alliance opportunities. Jay comes up with a plan that D and Mama Julie will say they're going to vote Jay out in order for Sifu to stay calm. So if Sifu stays calm, they're planning to vote him out if they lose. That is what they're thinking. Also, keep in mind, these people are on day 11. And the moves that they're making can really, how can I say this? Can really kind of tell you where they're going to be at later in the game. This is one of those type of gameplay moves that, yes, when you're kind of down to the small group of people that you have, you kind of got to take one for the team. And she is trusting that Mama Julie and D will have her back. But I would keep in mind, Mama D and Julie said they would vote out Jay if they need to and still keep Sifu in case they lose the next challenge. They are playing for an immunity and also an award for fish. They have to collect sandbags and then use a slingshot to hit 3 of these targets off the podium. Jeff, once again, he is giving it to us. All right, guys. He is giving it to us in this episode. Reba wins first. Then Lulu wins second. If we go back to a couple episodes, Lulu wasn't winning shit. Now Lulu is winning, and this is just great to see across the bat. This is Bello's first time losing. with this win for Reba, they have to choose people to go on the journey, to go see what they're going to get, an immunity or whatever the journey is. Jay plays rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and she wants to go. She wins. They pick Kelly from Bello, and then they pick Austin. I'm sorry. They pick Kelly to go, and then they also pick Austin to go. You have Jay from the Reba tribe. You have Kelly from the Lulu tribe, and you have Austin from the Bello tribe. Okay. Austin seems like he doesn't want to go, to be honest. The reason why he doesn't want to go is like he already has so much power. He already has like so many different idols and things that he could do. He don't want to go and put a target on his back. They go up to the mountain. Okay, they have the choice where they could either take they could take a sandwich, or they would have to all work together to actively make the powers work in order for either one of them to have it, which is an immunity idol. When there's one person left, then it turns into an immunity idol. To be honest, it was the most confusing shit I've ever heard in my fucking life, to be honest with you guys. If you're listening to this podcast or watching it, it was the most confusing thing I ever heard in my life. Austin doesn't want to work with these people because he's like, I don't even think we're all going to make it to the end like that to make these powers activate, but he really don't have a choice because he's kind of voted out and he don't want to be a target. So we're at Bello Tribe, okay? Kendra, throws a pitch at Emily for them to get rid of Drew, okay? She's like, hey, if you team up with me and Brando, we'll get rid of Drew, and then it'll be us three versus Austin, okay? Emily is still deciding on what she wants to do. Emily is probably in the best position right now just because of the fact that it seems like everybody wants to work with her, which is great. We love that. I think that's wonderful for her gameplay. Brando decides to kind of say, hey, to Drew, if you're willing not to vote me out or work with me, I'll give you my shot in the dark just to show you I want to work with you. Drew says, hey, you don't have to do all that. He turns it down, which is like kind of another hint to know like he wants you out of here. It don't matter. He wants you out of this game. We get to Tribal, all right? We still don't know what Emily's going to do because Emily is kind of the deciding factor of what's going to happen in this game, okay? Austin is in the tribe using a lot of his powers, by the way. So Austin has the opportunity where he has to decide, declare that if he's sacrificing his votes in order to extend the life of his idol that he has. But per rules, the good willing advantage, he will also restore so he can have a vote tonight, which was clever. So no additional advantages or idols are played with him doing this. It looks like Emily decided to go with Drew and Austin on this vote and vote out Brando. And that's because they told Emily about one of the advantages that Austin has, in order to show their loyalty to her and let her know we're willing to work with her to make it all the way in this game. Brando goes home. I will say this, Brando did have an opportunity to really slay this game, to be honest, but I think the cards were just not in his favor, okay? But we'll have to see how this all plays out next week. You know what time it is. We made a decision. We are going to talk about the challenge 39, okay? Now, the challenge 39, I'm not going through this whole motherfucking cast with y'all. I love y'all, but this cast is too long, okay? So we're going to try to work it out. But we start off with this episode, okay? It seems like this season's themes are players that have only played 1, 2, or 3 times. I love that. We need a refresher. I think that's going to be great for this cast, this platform, because we do need to give other people chances, okay? Let me just say this. They start out the episode with all of them showing up like they normally do in the pit at the house. They didn't go in the house, but they're at obviously the pit, Eliminations, where the house is. all standing there waiting for TJ to come out. TJ decides not to show the fuck up because he's like, y'all not even waste my time, motherfuckers. Y'all can just sit there and wait. After, I guess, an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, I think Kylan kind of knocks it above his head and he's like, let's go read the signs in the sand. Coming to find out, they have to sleep there overnight, which I found very interesting. But I guess this is just their new way of showing, like, hey, you guys are all still not at that level yet to move into the house yet, so we just gonna have you sleep here for a night. I don't really get that. To kind of go over the 3 different themes this season, as TJ explained to us, you're gonna have control, where you work as everyone together, like every single one of the players. Then you're gonna have chaos, where you kind of work to 2 to 4 pairs. And then you're going to have Conquest, which will be your individual game where you'll play individually, okay? It seems like maybe later in the season, because we haven't got to this point yet, they might have chances where the veterans will come back, where they'll have to play them in eliminations. And we first start off with Burner having such a hard time because she didn't get the room that she wanted. It seems like she's very close to Michelle, Huey, and she really wanted to be close with them, and she's having a hard time making connections. I think people forget in the game of the challenge or any of these competition shows, connections are very, very important. When you don't have those connections, you're not going to make it far in the game. They go into their first challenge. Their first challenge was a control challenge, so everyone's working together, and they had to get themselves down to a pit, like a whole pit, and then get everybody up over the wall out of the whole pit. I think it's Seren, if that's his name, Seren, I might be saying it wrong. He decides to be the team leader to come up with the plan in order for them to all work together and what to do. The goal is to get all the women up first and then the men, but the women will work on the puzzle. This was grueling to watch. I mean, I just can't imagine. Like, my fat ass ain't getting on a wall like that. I would step on some people to get up there. But I would have been able to pull people up. I thought they were doing really well. They were really working well together. I think where they dropped the ball at was that there was too many chefs. When it came down to the puzzle, it was too many chefs to make the puzzle. So everyone was moving things around and they were just very chaotic. They end up losing the challenge, okay? Which I want to commend them because they got everybody up and over the wall from the ground, from the hole, and I thought that was fantastic. They did absolutely phenomenal. Back to the house. And the guys want to target the girls and make it a girls' elimination because the girls failed at the puzzle. Now, here's my thought, okay? I don't think it should have been target the women. I think there should have been a better understanding of if you had roles, right? If you had designated roles, you can't just say, all the girls are going to do the puzzle. No, we need one person to do the puzzle, or 2 or 3 people. And then when the puzzle's not done, then it falls onto them. Because you did not designate the correct people to do the puzzle or give people those type of roles, you as a leader should have took that fail. Have our little showman's moment. You know, we have Callum here. Callum, I feel like Callum was on X on the Beach. I don't know. Callum's a London guy, man whore, whatever he is. Callum, lies to Michelle and tells her that he doesn't have a girlfriend at home. Cut a couple minutes later, him talking to his girlfriend on the phone. That was hard to watch, my brother. That's hard to watch. And it's really sad to see that men still out here being womenizers and shit like that. That was really hard to watch. Let's talk about Big T. Big T has played this game a couple times, okay? Big T is a great competitor as of eliminations, and she's also great social-wise. She's a threat. Big T makes a point because she knows the guys are going to target the women. Big T says the girls need to stick together and vote a guy out. It's time to have a discussion. Callum and Nuri, which I love Nuri, shout out to Nuri, go toe-to-toe at it. Callum is over here like being just like I can't believe I'm gonna say this because my friend says this word all the time, but he's a mansplainer. He really is a mansplainer, and I realize that. I don't really care for him and his like ego, and I hate that he thinks like you could tell his ego like is so high and no one has knocked him down. But the way he was talking to Nari wasn't cool, and I'm surprised that none of the other men in the house spoke up for her. They should have. Now, Seren, if that's his name, I'm gonna keep saying that because I'm probably saying it wrong, and I apologize. He doesn't think it makes sense for him to go in. It was his plan to win the challenge. But his motherfucking ass forgot that they lost the challenge. So your plan did not work. Burner wanted to speak up and help, but no one listened to her. Jessica. Ooh. Jessica during this conversation, she like, I don't know, like, the one thing that Tiffany always says, learn how to shut the fuck up. Jessica just like starts going on this rant about like, I know I'm like the smartest girl here, and you guys don't need to vote for me. And, I just know that I didn't do well in the challenge, and I know you guys want to vote for me. And I'm like, girl, no one was even thinking about you. What are you talking about? Like, just shut up. What are you talking about? Just shut up. That made me very like, what are you doing? Like, some of these people are not ready for these games because you didn't have to say nothing. Nobody was even thinking about you. Everyone votes for Jessica to go in because she opened her damn mouth at that damn discussion and made herself a target. Because in reality, the guys were going to pick Big T. Jessica decides to even also vote for herself. She's talking about she misses her mom, all this other stuff, which I don't really understand why people like, if you're going on a show, come on. Like, what are you doing? You signed up for this fucking show. Like, everything at home is okay. And I know it's hard to have homesickness, but I mean, come on now. You've done this show before. Really? So she decides to vote for herself and she goes in. TJ lets them know, hey, you can pick who you want to go against. She decides to pick Big T. I don't know why she picked Big T. I probably would have picked another rookie that hasn't played more than 2 times. But she decides to pick Big T, which Big T has the track history of winning eliminations. Don't know why she did that. So Big T is like, oh, okay, well, let me show these motherfuckers what I can do. They have to play this elimination. It's called Fall Out You. Your opponent is going to be locked in the cage, suspended above the area. When TJ says go, you have to clear out all the color titles in the middle of your cage. Then wrap the rope that is hanging between the 2 cages in the middle and pull it up to yourself to grab the hammer. Once you have the hammer, break the bottom of the cage. You fall out. Loser goes home. Who's ever first to fall out wins. Now, this elimination was pretty cool. I liked it. Very fair chance. You just had to move really, really fast. Jessica was moving like she was, I don't know, sweeping, cleaning, taking her time on a Sunday. And Big T was moving like it was motherfucking Black Friday. She was snatching the tiles quickly as she can. Jessica loses to Big T. I will say this. Big T, I'm going to give you your flowers, girl. You did really, really well. And Big T has a great social game. And her and Melissa are very close. I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. Also, I can't wait to see how Corey does. Kylan does. Who else? Nari, Olivia. I just can't wait to see how this goes this season. Seriously. Some of these people I'm excited to see. Ed. So I want to see how they're going to turn out. This season's going to be interesting. So if you guys are not watching it, make sure you guys watch The Challenge 39. That comes out Wednesday night, the same time as Survivor. I don't know why they're doing that. But if you have DVR or if you have the MTV app, you can watch it. Let me know your guys' thoughts on tonight's episode. Who do we think is going out next week with Survivor? Who do we think is going to be an elimination next week in the challenge? And also, I can't wait to see how this, like the vets showing up later and how we have these 3 type of C's that we're working with control, chaos, and conquest. Also with Big Brother, the Veto on Tuesday. who's going to win the veto? And do we think Sari is going to be taken down? Do we think Miss Felicia's going to be taken down? Or they might take themselves down? I would love to hear your thoughts, okay? Now, guys, this was great. Please bear with me. I had to do this for my first time by myself. I hope I did a good job. If not, fuck it. I tried the best I could do. Look at me. I'm dressed as a fucking clown. I guess it was a clown fucking episode, okay, tonight. Remember, guys, to like, subscribe, and comment. And I did miss Hannah and Tiffany so much tonight. I love you so much. I know you guys have so much going on in your lives, but hey, I'm still here to do the episode for you guys. So I'll see you guys next week. Oh, wait, why not?